Hello guys, and welcome back to another cold episode. On today's episode, as you could tell by the title and the thumbnail, we are talking about Gadget Generaider for the Common and Rare Festival event that is currently going on. So, let's talk about the deck, right? First of all, as you can tell, we are playing 56 cards, which is a bit abnormal. Normally, one, you would play 60, and two, you would actually play 40. So why are we playing this weird amalgamation of cards? Well, gadgets, if you don't know what they do, they search out other gadgets. And Generaiders, you only need to see boss stage to basically see the entire deck. So because of that, we are playing a lot more cards because we only need to see a few set of cards in order to actually see the rest of our strategy. If you don't know, gadgets will search other gadgets, as I had mentioned, but green will search red, red will search yellow, and yellow will search green. We also have silver and gold, which will special summon from the hand a level 4 machine type monster when they are summoned, and when they are destroyed, will special summon from the deck a gadget monster. We also have Infinitrak Anchor Drill, which is a pseudo addition to this lineup of gold and silver, which when it is normal or specialed, it specials a earth machine monster from the hand in defense position. Also, it gets us to Draglubion. How do we do that? Seeing as how Draglubion is a rank 8, Infinitrak Anchor Drill does something incredible. You target a machine type monster on the field, other than itself, and then you combine the two levels together, and then that is their level until the end of the turn, both of them. So, you target a level 4 earth machine, this guy gains that level, so now it is an 8, and the other one is an 8, and that gets us to Draglubion. So that's how you make it. This card's crazy, and because of this card, we are also playing triple heavy forward, which just says, add this guy. Absolutely crazy combo, and Draglubion is insane. Let's quickly talk about this card before I move on to the rest. This card is the most difficult boss monster to deal with in the common and rare format. Reason being is this first line of text right here. Your opponent cannot target this card with card effects. At 3,000, which is a stat line not a lot of cards can get over, this card is difficult to deal with without targeting. So that's why. On top of that, it can summon out Heart Earth and attach it with this guy. This guy doesn't matter. It's mostly the fact that this guy gets a material. Because during your opponent's end phase, you could detach a material from this card, banish all cards your opponent currently controls that were normal or special summoned, or were set this turn. That's it. Just banish everything. So any of their trap cards, any of their monsters that were normal or specialed, all of them are gone. Sure, if they activate a pendulum, the scales will stay. If they activate a continuous spell, that will stay. If they have a continuous trap that's face up, that will stay. Everything else, gone. Also, cannot be destroyed by battle, and your opponent would take the battle damage. It's basically Amazona's Swordswoman. Absolutely crazy. So we're playing 2 Draglubion and 2 of this guy, and then the material can also be attached from the grave, so we're only playing 1 of the material. Moving on to the actual rest of the cards in the deck, we are playing a few hand traps to facilitate our strategy in some machine spells, hand traps. We are playing Construction Train Signal Red. This guy basically just is like Sphere Karibo. Your opponent attacks into it, but it cannot be destroyed by that battle. By special summoning itself. Very nice. And then Speedroid Menko is very similar to something like Battle Fader. If your opponent attacks directly, you just you special summon it in attack position, switch everything to defense position, and that normally ends the battle phase. We are also playing 1 Planet Pathfinder in order to see our boss stage more often. We're playing 1 Boot Up Corporal. This card, it works well with some of the gadget. It revives them from the grave, which is kind of nice, and it can get up to 2,000 attack on a rank 4 special summon, which is very nice. But we're only playing 1 because it's kind of bricky unless you have those gadgets already in grave. We're playing triple Loyal Guan Yu. This card's just Cyber Dragon except at 2,500. That's it. He's just Cyber Dragon except better. We are playing 3 Generaider bosses. We are playing 1 Duel. We are playing 1 Nidhogg and 1 Utgarda. All of these are pretty decent. Notably, I like these 2. This one has a when effect, which means it sucks. But Duel can be special summoned off of the Infinitrak Anchor Drill, which is very nice. Just having a big body is very nice. Also, he contribute other machine types to special summon machine types from the hand, which is very nice. So if you have like a dead gadget in hand, you could special summon one of the other gadgets, or, you know, your Infinitrak Anchor Drill or what have you, to potentially go for more plays. We are also playing Utgard. This card is crazy. It's limited to 1 for a reason, but you contribute 2 Generaider cards in order to banish or target a card on the field and then banish it. Absolutely crazy. That's at quick effect speed as well. So really, really powerful. Nidhogg negates a summon when it would be special summoned. So it's only okay against things that aren't rituals or fusion summons. So, you know, nothing in the current meta. It does technically negate pendulum summons, which is nice, but that comes up a little less often. This is more, you kind of want to see what your opponent is playing before you summon out this guy. He's still very good when he does go off, though. We have 3 boss stage. This card's crazy. When your opponent draws a card, you special summon out one of your bosses, and then fill the rest of your board with tokens of Generaiders, allowing you to activate the effects of your bosses. Very, very crazy. We have triple heavy forward to search out the Infinitrak. We have triple Mystical Space Typhoon, triple Book of Moon, triple Forbidden Chalice. This card's crazy. Everyone should be playing it. It just says negate, which is enough. Triple Torrential Tribute, which destroys Megaliths, triple Compulse, and triple Dinomishus. As for the extra deck, we have 1 Super Quantum Mech Beast Grand Pulse, which can be summoned off of these guys. They're the only rank 3 or level 3s that we have. We have 1 Gagaga Samurai. We have 2 Malevolent Sin. This card's crazy. We have 2 Draglubion and the 2 material, as I mentioned, or the 2 summons, as I mentioned, and then the 1 material. We have 1 Pain Gainer, which can be summoned off of any of these guys in order to go into 7 Sins. 7 Sins is absolutely crazy. You can detach 2 materials, except for the turn that it was ranked up, in order to banish all special summon monsters your opponent currently controls. Also, you can then attach one of those as materials, and if this card would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you could detach a material from this card instead. Truly crazy, especially at a 4,000, 3,000 stat line. We are playing Double Bite Dragon, which is just big enough to get over Draglubion sometimes, which is enough for it. We are playing 1 Codebreaker Virus Swordsman, 1 Geonator Transverser, and 1 Berserker of the Tenyi. So let's move on to the replays and see how this deck performs. Now, before we get into these duels, I just wanted to say that, did you know, almost 80%, over 80% of the people who watch my channel are not subscribed? That's all. Alright, so here we are in our first duel, and we have drawn pretty well, especially going first. So we're going to normal summon the Silver Gadget, Silver will special summon out the Infinitrak Anchor Drill, and then Anchor Drill will special summon out the Green, Green will search Red. This is why gadgets are so good. Being able to constantly gain that additional advantage is really nice. So then we activate the Infinitrak effect in order to target the Green, and then make them both level 8 to go into Draglubion. Draglubion effect will activate in order to special summon out the Heart Earth and attach it with a material, and then we'll just end the turn. I keep the heavy forward here because searching out something like an Infinitrak Anchor Drill here is nice, but not necessary at the moment. However, I should have done this immediately because Mystical Space Typhoon could stop this. So I made a misplay there. I should have just activated this and grabbed the additional card, but I didn't. They're going to activate their Manju to search out Bethor. This is actually very scary. However, with Draglubion, their Bethor kind of doesn't do anything. However, they could get over our they could get over our Draglubion with a Phaleg, or Phaleg, and then they could go for Bethor on top of that in order to deal with the rest of the monsters. However, they don't end up doing that. They instead activate Phaleg, pitching an Ophiel. Now, let me tell you something right now. They could have summoned out this Ophiel to get an additional search, to go into full, and to make a full combo. And instead, they just went straight into Bethor, trying to destroy our field. They do end up destroying our 2 monsters that they can target, however, they cannot destroy Draglubion. Silver Gadget will also activate, special summoning out the gold, which will then special summon out the red, and red will search the yellow. So they didn't really get much off of that, I'm not gonna lie. They ended the turn there, and yeah, understandable. We end up drawing a red for turn, which kind of sucks, but we are going to activate our heavy forward, and then we are going to normal summon out our Infinitrak Anchor Drill, which will then special summon out our Generaider monster. We'll go and make a second Draglubion, because what's better than two, right? This card's absolutely crazy. So we're just going to proceed to the battle phase and attack in. The only thing that I'm really worried about is something like a Torrential Tribute, but yeah. We're just going to activate our second Draglubion and make our second Heart Earth and attach the material. At this point, they disconnect because they realized they weren't winning that one. So that's game one. Oh, sorry, they actually surrendered. Yeah, they realized they weren't winning that one against two Draglubions. So good game. All right, and here we are in our second duel going first once again. And we have a very, very similar hand. But this time with additional disruption. So we're going to basically make the same play, gold into Infinitrak into a yellow, and yellow will search the green. We will make these guys an 8, and then we will go and put Draglubion in the extra monster zone once again, and then do the same play, this time with a Compulse. So they are going to activate their Baboon here, and I'm like, okay, that's fine. I know that I'm playing up against metal foes, which is fine. The main thing that I want to do is, when they target the Baboon, I'm going to Compulse it. That is the best option for us, because they lose all of the advantage from the Baboon getting popped. They don't get the search from the metal foe, they don't get this special summon from the Baboon, and more importantly, they can no longer use this guy's effect. Absolutely crazy advantage for us here. So they're going to target the Baboon, and I'm going to Compulse their monster right back to their hand and say, it's fine if you get the additional, normal summon of this. That's a-okay with me, because you're missing out on a lot of advantage here. They're going to activate their True Draco Heritage in order to tribute summon out their Ignis Heat. They're going to then pop their own Metal Foes combination in order to get a search of Melcaster. Pretty solid play. I'm not too sure if I'm a fan of it, but it did end up working out for them. So they are going to then pop with their Volflame, use the effect of Volflame to pop their gold driver in order to go for, I forget what they actually ended up searching. Yeah, their Parametal Foes Fusion. They're then going to they're going to scale up the Melcaster and then pen summon out their gold driver, and then they will make a Gravity Controller. Gravity Controller actually does deal with the Draglubion because I did put it in the extra monster zone. However, they are going to attack over our gold Gadget, which will then special summon out the silver, and silver will special summon out the green. Green will then add the red Gadget, and because of the fact that this was all happening during the damage step, this guy doesn't get to activate. Quick effects are weird. They don't activate during the damage step because of reasons, and so yeah, certain conditions weren't met to allow him to activate the effect of the True Draco here to get that extra advantage. So that's very nice for me. But yeah, they're going to then activate their Melcaster to set a Metal Foes counter. So we know of Parametal Foes Fusion as well as the Metal Counter, which literally does nothing for them because we're just going to banish everything. I don't know what their plan was with that one. They just decided to set the Metal Foes counter. I think they forgot about this card and didn't know what it did. But yeah, I'm just banishing everything. They did end up finally figuring it out, and they just added the Draco Phoenix, or Disciples of the True Draco, to their hand instead of activating it. So, sorry. I ended up normal summoning out our Planet Pathfinder to search for the boss stage, because this card's crazy, and just kind of wins games on its own, and is just crazy advantage. And then we go for a link of the Codebreaker Virus Swordsman. We're just going to go to battle here and deal as much damage as we can. Yeah, there's not a whole lot more that I could have done there. Sure, I could have kept around this Hard Earth, but it doesn't really do anything at this point, so I decided to link it off for the Codebreaker. At this point, we know for a fact that they have a Baboon in their hand, and we know nothing else in their hand. Oh, no, sorry. We know the True Draco card as well as the Baboon. So if they don't have a True Draco, we should be pretty fine here. However, they do get to cycle a card here, and then they are going to target their Baboon once again, and this time, instead of compulsing it, we're going to banish it. So we do the same trick again. They're going to target it to try and pop it, and we are going to banish it there. They're then going to activate their True Draco, or Disciples of the True Draco, and they did indeed have a Tribute Summon. They end up popping our boss stage, which does hurt, but it's not that big of a deal. They actually end up attacking into the token here instead of our Silver Gadget. I think they learned their lesson. So we actually draw a silver Gadget for turn, so, you know, there's that. They're going to add an Ignis Heat here off of the effect of their Majesty Maiden. There's the Ignis Heat. But at this point, it is very simply in the bag. We just assemble lethal very quickly. We go into the Malevolent Sin. We switch everything to attack position. We banish their guy and then attack in for well over lethal. So in those first two replays,